Hi, this is Nathan Hager, and I want to tell you about Bloomberg News Now. It's news when you want it on your schedule. These are short audio reports, 5 minutes or less, that bring you the latest headlines with context 24 hours a day. Get it on your smartphone with Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any podcast platform. And if you're still not sure, here's a sample of today's latest report from our team at Bloomberg News Now.
News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. We continue to follow this developing story. One person has died, 10 more now hospitalized after at least 49 people got sick from eating McDonald's Quarter Pounders. The CDC has issued a food safety alert impacting McDonald's in the Mountain West region. Colorado has seen the most significant impact, 27 cases there, and one person there died. McDonald's has temporarily removed suspect ingredients from its Quarter Pounders as that investigation is ongoing. And the CDC is actively investigating the source of the contamination and is urging consumers to report any related illnesses. McDonald's shares right now down more than 9% in the post-market. Starbucks says it has suspended guidance for fiscal 2025 while reporting same-store sales that fell 7% in the latest quarter. Starbucks chairman and CEO Brian Niccol posted a video to the Starbucks website.
We need to address staffing in our stores, remove bottlenecks, and simplify things for our baristas. We need to refine mobile order and pay so it doesn't overwhelm the cafe experience.
Starbucks shares are down more than 3.5% now in the post-market. Texas Instruments is out with a lackluster revenue forecast for the fourth quarter, fueling concern that demand may still be sluggish after an industry glut. We get more with Bloomberg's Charlie Pellet.
TI is the biggest maker of analog chips. It said sales in the period will be $3.7 to $4 billion. Analysts on average estimated $4.08 billion, according to data compiled by Bloomberg. The Dallas-based company is the biggest maker of chips that perform simple but vital functions in a range of electronic devices. While the chipmaker's executives are typically reluctant to give industry-wide long-term projections, investors do use its forecasts as indicators of demand across the industry. In New York, Charlie Pellet, Bloomberg Radio.
And shares of Texas Instruments are up nearly 2% now in the post-market. An investigation of Huawei Technologies' latest AI offering has unearthed an advanced processor made by NVIDIA manufacturing partner Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing. Huawei has been on a U.S. sanctions list since August of 2020. That means the company is barred from doing business with TSMC. We bring you your closing numbers each day here at Bloomberg. The Dow finished down 7, the S&P down 3, NASDAQ up 33. Bets rising on Wall Street that instead of cutting interest rates at a swift and steady pace, the Federal Reserve will take a meandering path, which helps explain some of these losses on Wall Street. Apollo Management Chief Economist Torsten Slok says the chances that the Fed doesn't cut interest rates next month are rising. He says tailwinds from looser financial conditions, higher government spending, and elevated stocks and GDP growth are building.
I mean, you really do begin to ask the question, where is the slowdown? And as we have been debating before, is monetary policy really restrictive? If it is so restrictive, why is the economy still doing so well?
Apollo Management's Torsten Slok was a guest on Bloomberg Surveillance. The International Monetary Fund lowered its global growth forecast for next year, warning of accelerating risks from wars to trade protectionism, but it credited central banks for taming inflation without sending nations into recession. The direction of European central bank borrowing costs is clear, but the pace at which they'll be lowered is still to be decided. That's according to President Christine Lagarde, who did not rule out bigger moves. Speaking on the sidelines of the International Monetary Fund and World Bank annual meetings, Lagarde said disinflation is on the right track, describing recent numbers as relatively reassuring.
We are not totally unhappy with what we see. We're looking at a lot of data to make sure that this disinflationary process continues to be well on track. But we also have to be cautious.
ECB President Christine Lagarde spoke with Bloomberg's Francine Lacroix in Washington, where the annual World Bank IMF fall meetings are getting underway. The Biden administration is preparing fresh sanctions aimed at restricting Russia's access to goods that sustain its military machine, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen.
As soon as next week, we will unveil strong new sanctions targeting those facilitating the Kremlin's war machine.
Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu have agreed that the killing of Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar opens new possibilities for ending the conflict in the Gaza Strip. But there is no indication that their 2.5-hour-long meeting today yielded an accord on what could come next. Blinken is on his 11th trip to the region since Hamas attacked Israel in October of last year. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris, and this is Bloomberg.